In the heart of a noble village in Nigeria, the people revered their king, Isobina, who ruled with wisdom and compassion. But beneath the king's calm exterior lay a gnawing worry, the thought of his lineage ending without an heir to carry on his legacy. His only son, Prince Ibuka, had been sent abroad to further his education, a decision made in the hope of preparing him for the throne. Yet, as the months turned into years, the king's anxiety grew. What if something happened before his son returned? Who would lead the village with the same care and wisdom? Finally, after long years of waiting, the day came when Prince Ibuka returned home, now a learned man with the knowledge of the world. The entire village celebrated his return, and the king felt a brief moment of peace, but soon his concerns resurfaced. He knew the time had come for his son to take on the responsibilities of the crown. But there was one crucial step left, finding a worthy wife for the prince, a queen who would stand by him, not for his wealth or title, but out of genuine love and loyalty. One evening, as the warm glow of the setting sun bathed the palace in golden light, King Obina called his son to his private chamber. The walls of the room were adorned with intricate carvings, each telling the stories of the kings who had ruled before them. "Ibuka, my son," the king began, his voice filled with both pride and concern, "you have returned to us with the wisdom of the world, but your journey is not yet complete. The time has come for you to find a wife, someone who will not just share your throne but also your heart and soul. This is a decision that will shape not just your future but the future of our people." Prince Ibuka listened attentively, understanding the weight of his father's words. The king continued, "But how do we find a woman who truly loves you for who you are, and not for the power or wealth that comes with your position? We must devise a way to uncover the true nature of those who seek to be your bride." After a moment of contemplation, the king proposed a plan. "We shall announce a competition throughout the city, inviting young women to come forward. But there is a twist. You, my son, will disguise yourself as a palace guard. This will allow you to observe the true character of the women without them knowing who you are. Only then will we discover who is worthy of your heart." Prince Ibuka agreed to the plan, intrigued by the challenge it presented. The next day, the king's guards went throughout the city, announcing the competition. The entire village buzzed with excitement, and soon, 3 young women were chosen to participate. But little did they know that the competition was not just for the prince's hand in marriage, but a test of their true selves. As news of the competition spread, the entire village was abuzz with excitement. Young women from far and wide began preparing themselves, hoping to be the one chosen by fate to marry the prince. Among the throngs of hopefuls, 3 women were selected by the palace guards to compete for the prince's hand. Their names were Chidinma, Adeobi, and Kem, each possessing beauty that captivated the eyes of many. Chidinma was known throughout the village for her charm and wit. She was a skilled herbalist, but her knowledge of plants went beyond mere healing. Whispers had long circulated about her dabbling in darker arts, although none dared confront her openly. With a secretive smile, Chidinma saw this competition as her chance to ascend to power, ready to use whatever means necessary to win the prince's heart, even if it meant resorting to black magic. Adeobi, on the other hand, was the daughter of a wealthy trader. She was beautiful, but her beauty was matched by an arrogance that many found off-putting. Adeobi believed that her wealth and status would be enough to secure the prince's affection. To her, marriage to the prince was not about love but about enhancing her own prestige and wealth. She cared little for who Prince Ibuka truly was, all that mattered was the crown that came with him. Nkem, the last of the 3, was a simple village girl. Her family was not wealthy, and she had grown up learning the value of hard work and humility. Unlike the others, Nkem had no grand dreams of wealth or power. She had always lived a modest life, and her heart was pure. She admired the prince, not for his status, but for the stories she had heard of his kindness and intelligence. To her, winning the competition would be a dream come true, not because of the crown, but because she hoped to find a kindred spirit in Prince Ibuka. As the competition began, Prince Ibuka, disguised as a palace guard named Obina, watched closely. The first test was a simple one, a day spent in the marketplace, where the women were to engage with the people of the village. Chidinma used the opportunity to subtly gather ingredients for a potion she planned to brew. Adeobi strutted through the marketplace, looking down on the common folk, her disdain thinly veiled. Nkem, however, took the time to talk to the villagers, listening to their stories, and helping where she could. As the day drew to a close, Prince Ibuka began to see the true nature of each woman. He was particularly impressed by Nkem's genuine kindness, but the competition was far from over. He knew he had to dig deeper to uncover the true intentions of these women, for the future of his kingdom depended on it. The competition progressed, and the tension between the three women began to rise. Each day brought a new challenge, designed to test not just their abilities, but their character. Chidinma, with her sly intelligence, continued to play her part perfectly. To the outside world, she was the perfect suitor, charming, poised, and seemingly kind. But underneath that veneer, she was concocting a dark plan. Each night, in the secrecy of her chambers, she mixed herbs and whispered incantations, creating a potion that would ensure the prince's love was hers alone. Adeobi, meanwhile, grew increasingly frustrated. Despite her beauty and wealth, she found herself unable to connect with the prince, even though she still did not know his true identity. Her arrogance made it difficult for her to truly engage with the challenges. She believed that her status alone should be enough, and she began to despise the simpler tasks set before them. Nkem, though, remained steadfast. She approached each task with sincerity, not out of a desire to win, but because she genuinely enjoyed the work. She formed a bond with the people in the palace, including the guards, who appreciated her humility and warmth. Prince Ibuka, in his disguise, grew more and more intrigued by Nkem. There was a simplicity and honesty to her that he found refreshing. Unlike the other two, she was not trying to win him over, she was simply being herself. Yet, he remained cautious, knowing that the competition was not yet over, and that he needed to be certain before making his decision. One evening, as the moon hung low in the sky, Chidinma finally completed her potion. It was a dark, viscous liquid, meant to cloud the mind and bend the will of whoever consumed it. Confident in her abilities, she decided it was time to put her plan into action. She invited the palace guard she believed to be close to the prince, offering him a drink as a token of her gratitude for his service. Little did she know, this guard was Prince Ibuka in disguise. As the prince took the cup from her, he felt a strange aura emanating from it. His instincts, honed from years of education and training, told him something was amiss. He politely declined, suggesting that another guard, an actual palace guard standing nearby, should drink it instead. To Chidinma's horror, the guard drank the potion, and within moments, his eyes glazed over, and his demeanor changed completely. He began to fawn over Chidinma, declaring his undying love for her in front of everyone. Realizing what she had done, Chidinma's face paled, but it was too late to undo her mistake. Prince Ibuka, observing the scene, understood exactly what had happened. Chidinma had shown her true colors, revealing herself as a manipulator willing to use dark forces to get what she wanted. He knew then that she could never be his queen. The incident with Chidinma sent ripples through the palace. The once confident herbalist now kept to herself, trying to regain her composure. But Prince Ibuka knew her time in the competition was limited. He had seen enough to know that she was not fit to be his queen. However, there was still the matter of Adeobi. The challenges continued, and with each passing day, Adeobi's true nature became more apparent. She was not interested in the people of the kingdom, nor did she care for the simple joys of life. Her eyes were always on the prize, the crown, the wealth, the power that would come with marrying the prince. One day, The challenge involved managing the palace's finances, a task meant to test their wisdom and prudence. Each woman was given a sum of money and was asked to invest it in a way that would benefit the kingdom. Nkem carefully considered her options, speaking with merchants and villagers to understand their needs before making her decisions. She chose to invest in the local farmers, helping them purchase new tools and seeds, knowing that a prosperous harvest would benefit everyone in the kingdom. Adeobi, however, took a different approach. She saw this as an opportunity to flaunt her wealth and connections. She invested in extravagant goods, importing rare fabrics and jewels, thinking that the prince would be impressed by her luxurious taste. To her, this was just another display of her superiority. When the time came to present their results, the contrast between Nkem and Adeobi's choices was stark. Nkem's investments had already begun to show returns, with the farmers reporting better yields and more produce being brought to the market. The people of the village were grateful, and the prosperity was visible. Adeobi, on the other hand, presented her purchases with pride, but the prince, still in his guard disguise, was unimpressed. He saw her choices for what they were, vain and self-serving. The luxurious goods were beautiful, yes, but they served no purpose for the betterment of the people. Her investments had not benefited the kingdom but had instead showcased her own greed and vanity. After the presentations, the king called Adeobi aside, still unaware that she was speaking to her disguised prince. He questioned her choices, asking why she had chosen to invest in items that had no real value to the people. Adeobi, confident in her decision, arrogantly replied, "The people will be drawn to wealth and luxury. They will see the splendor I bring and know that I am the rightful queen." But her words only solidified Prince Ibuka's decision. He knew then that Adeobi was not fit to be his queen. She was the first to be dismissed from the competition, living in a huff, unable to comprehend why her plans had failed. With Adeobi gone, the competition narrowed down to Chidinma and Nkem. Chidinma, however, was growing desperate. She knew her chances were slipping away after the debacle with the potion. Determined not to lose, she decided to take more drastic measures. That night, she sought out the guard who had drunk her potion, the man who now followed her around like a lovesick puppy. She saw an opportunity in him, a way to regain her advantage. Chidinma convinced the guard that the only way they could be together was if he helped her win the competition. She promised him that once she was queen, they could continue their affair in secret, with him as her most trusted confidant. Blinded by the effects of the potion and his infatuation with her, the guard agreed to help. He began to sabotage Nkem's efforts, creating obstacles in her path. He tampered with her supplies, spread rumors about her among the servants, and did everything he could to undermine her position in the competition. But Nkem, with her unwavering spirit, continued to persevere. She did not let the setbacks deter her. She worked harder, relying on her inner strength and the relationships she had built with the people around her. The palace staff, having grown fond of her, began to notice the guard's strange behavior and warned her to be cautious. Prince Ibuka, still in his disguise, watched these events unfold with growing concern. He realized that Chidinma was not only manipulative but now also dangerous. He knew it was time to reveal himself and put an end to her schemes. One morning, as the three remaining competitors were summoned to the throne room, the king stood before them, his expression grave. "The time has come to reveal the true prince," he announced, and with that, Prince Ibuka stepped forward, shedding his disguise as a palace guard. Gasps filled the room as the women realized the guard who had been observing them all along was, in fact, the prince. Nkem's eyes widened in surprise, while Chidinma's face turned ashen. She knew the game was up. Prince Ibuka recounted the events of the past weeks, from the moment Chidinma had tried to ensnare him with her potion to the sabotage she had orchestrated against Nkem. With a stern voice, he turned to Chidinma. "Your deceit, your willingness to manipulate and harm others, has shown me that you are unfit to be my queen. You have not only dishonored yourself but also endangered the future of this kingdom." Chidinma, now exposed, tried to defend herself, but it was no use. The king ordered her to be removed from the palace and banished from the kingdom. But before she was taken away, Prince Ibuka noticed something unusual. Chidinma's belly was slightly swollen. The palace physician was summoned, and it was revealed that Chidinma was with child, the result of her affair with the palace guard. The king, disgusted by her actions, declared that she would be sent away to live in solitude, raising her child far from the palace and the village. As she was led out, Chidinma realized the full extent of her downfall. She had lost everything: her chance at power, her reputation, and now, even her place in society. With Chidinma and Adebi gone, Nkem was the last woman standing in the competition. Yet, even in victory, she remained humble, not daring to believe that she could truly become the prince's bride. Prince Ibuka, however, had made his decision. He had seen her kindness, her resilience, and her genuine love for the people. She was everything he had hoped to find in a queen. On the day of the final ceremony, the entire village gathered to witness the crowning of their new queen. The palace was adorned with the finest decorations, and musicians played joyous tunes as the people celebrated. Nkem, dressed in a simple but elegant gown, walked down the aisle, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she reached the throne, Prince Ibuka stood waiting, a smile on his face. He took her hand and led her to the center of the room. "Nkem," he said, his voice filled with warmth and admiration, "you have shown me what it means to be truly noble. It is not about wealth or power, but about the strength of your character and the love you have for others. You are the woman I want by my side, not just as my queen, but as my partner for life." The crowd erupted in cheers as the king placed the crown on Nkem's head, officially making her the queen of the kingdom. Tears of joy filled her eyes as she looked at the prince, now her husband, knowing that their journey had just begun. Together, Prince Ibuka and Queen Nkem would go on to rule the kingdom with wisdom and compassion, their love a beacon of hope for all who lived under their reign. The challenges they had faced only made their bond stronger, and they knew that, no matter what trials lay ahead, they would face them together, side by side. And so, the village prospered under their rule, the story of how a humble village girl became queen passed down through generations, a tale of love, integrity, and the power of a pure heart. The end was not just the beginning of a new era for the kingdom, but a reminder to all that true nobility comes from within. With the coronation of Queen Nkem, the kingdom entered a new era of peace and prosperity. The people rejoiced, for they had a queen who truly understood their struggles and a king who had chosen his bride not for wealth or status, but for the goodness of her heart. The villagers celebrated not just the union of their rulers, but the values that this union represented. Under their reign, the kingdom flourished. Nkem's first order of business was to ensure that the investments she had made in the farmers continued to grow. She worked closely with them, listening to their needs and providing the resources they required. Soon, the kingdom became known for its bountiful harvest, and the markets were filled with fresh produce, bringing wealth not just to the palace, but to the entire community. Prince Ibuka, too, played his part. With the wisdom he had gained from his studies abroad, he introduced new policies that improved the kingdom's infrastructure, education, and healthcare. Together, he and Nkem ruled with a fair hand, ensuring that justice was served and that every citizen, no matter their status, was treated with respect and dignity. But their reign was not without its challenges. The kingdom, like any other, faced threats from neighboring lands, natural disasters, and the occasional discontent among the people. However, Ibuka and Nkem met these challenges head-on, their bond strengthening with each trial. They became known as the Golden Couple, beloved by their people not just for their leadership, but for their love for each other. One of the most memorable moments in their reign came when Nkem, now pregnant with their first child, initiated a festival celebrating the women of the kingdom. The festival, which became an annual tradition, honored the contributions of women from all walks of life, recognizing their strength, wisdom, and resilience. It was a testament to Nkem's belief in the power of women and her desire to uplift others as she had been uplifted. As the years passed, Prince Ibuka and Queen Nkem raised their children to value the same principles that had guided them. They taught them the importance of humility, kindness, and the responsibility that came with power. Their children grew up to be wise and just leaders, ensuring that the legacy of their parents would continue for generations. Years turned into decades, and the kingdom continued to thrive under the reign of Prince Ibuka and Queen Nkem. Their love story became legendary, told and retold by elders, parents, and storytellers throughout the land. It was not just a tale of romance but a lesson in the power of integrity.